Okay. Hi everybody, I'm Skip Alzheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where we watch old 16mm films. And that... So we've been showing films from the Mogul Brothers collection, which was a library that was film library based in New York City, which would rent or sell 16mm prints and had lots of stuff. And they would do all sorts of crazy things, like they would take 35mm things and make them 16. They would add new titles. It's a mess. The catalog is a mess as far as what is legit and what's not. But this potentially could have been some home movies from the Mogul family, in that this showed up in the collection, and we don't know. So it's still great nonetheless. Still great early 20th century stuff to delight in. So today is Memorial Day, and if you have the day off, I hope you're getting some much needed rest and relaxation. But also today is the day we're going to get a little solemn, not sullen, solemn here, and really talk about why there is a Memorial Day, and that is to honor those who have fallen in foreign war, battle, conflict, etc. And so I have films, two of which I think I've shown on previous Memorial Days, but it's been like 2 or 3 years, and two which I have not shown, but almost all of these, all of these are dealing with World War II. And I think 3 of these are films made by the Army or Navy or the War Department, and they are pleas to the home front to not take advantage of the sacrifice that soldiers, sailors, aviators made during the war. And that's what really Memorial Day is all about, is like recognizing the fact. And I personally am not pro-war. I'm very much a pacifist, but hate the game, not the player. So the people that did give their lives, I'm not going to begrudge them the sacrifice and the sacrifice the families made and all that. And these films are basically like emotional pleas to buy war bonds. At least the first 3 are. And then the final one, I'll talk about that when we get to it. But the thing is, my takeaway for this, and I'm soapboxing, and I will be soapboxing a lot today, is, don't just deploy troops. Politicians don't deploy troops because there's a risk involved, and that is killing your own citizens. And harming and injuring your own citizens. So, so this is kind of a talk about, and I'm all emotional and blubbery at the same time, blubbering over my words. So we'll start off with who died. Jump right into it, because this is Memorial Day.
I've just read that during the last week in February, 3,887 of our American boys died in action. Who died? I'll tell you who died. Not so many years ago, there was a little boy sleeping in his crib. In the night it thundered and lightened. He woke and cried out in fear. His mother came and fixed his blankets better and said, "Don't cry. Nothing will ever hurt you." He died. There was another boy, a little older. He came around on a Thursday afternoon. He was very proud. He was in business for himself. He rang your bell and said, "Want to buy a post, mister?" He died. There was another kid with a new bicycle. When he came past your house, he rode no hands while he folded the evening paper into a block and threw it against your door. You used to jump when you heard the bang. You said, "Someday I'm going to give that kid a good talking to." He died. Then there were two kids. One said to the other, "I'll do all the talking. I just want you to come along to give me nerve." They came to your door. The one who had promised to do all the talking said, "Would you like your lawn mowed, mister?" They died together. They gave each other nerve. There was another youngster. Why, it was only a year or two ago that he said to his father, "Oh, Pa, Johnny Johnson's father lets him drive the car, and Johnny's 3 months younger than I am." The father said, "I don't care what Johnny Johnson's father does. You're too young to drive a car." He died. There was another fellow. He married the girl he had been having dates with ever since junior high. Folks said he was too young to marry. When the baby came, people shook their heads and said, "Those foolish kids." The time came for him to go. He said to his wife, "All I'm worried about is how you and the baby are going to get along." She said, "Don't worry. I'll get a job and Mother will look after the baby." "I don't want to go," he told her, "but I wouldn't feel right if I didn't." He died. They all died. The little one who was afraid of the thunder, the boy who sold you a post, who delivered the evening paper, the two kids who wanted to mow your lawn, the youngster who was too young to drive the family car, the fellow who was too young to be a husband and a father. They all died. How can any one of us here at home sleep peacefully tonight unless we're sure in our hearts that we have done our part? And one of the greatest things that we can do for our fighting men is to buy and hold war bonds.
Thanks, Betty Smith. Again, emotional plea and to spend money for the war effort. And it's there's quite a few films that do this. Some of them are, there's one called My Japan, which is incredibly racist, which basically is like supposedly a found film about the Japanese war effort, and we're supposed to hate the Japanese and give money. But this is more of the toll that it takes on with lives. This next film is 957th Day, and this one has lots of war footage in it.
This is the 957th day of our war, day 957. From the islands already conquered, the small islands where Americans fought, the fleet has set sail once more westward. It's day 957, another D-Day in the Pacific, not unlike day 956 or day 958 to come. For day 957, everything is ready. For instance, here are today's shells.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, day 957. This date, Pittsburgh will deliver 85,000 tons of steel. Out of the steel will come shell of the fleet, the metal of guns, the hulls of ships.
The steel will be well used. It will be used here on day 957 by the 5th Fleet as it sails to a new battle. It will serve, too, in the covering air arm.
Target dead ahead. Target dead ahead.
The carriers stand by waiting. A battle is teamwork. Each craft has its own job. So first, the scout planes must see what the enemy is up to. Then from the carriers, the fighters join, eager for the kill. Now the battleships speak, the mighty ones, pushing through the 16 inches. Bombers complete the team, the Avengers. Yes, the Navy works as a team. Here are the coaches and the battle plan. Here are the ships, the guns, and above all, here are the men. Men at work, firing the guns, clearing the path for the hand-to-hand fight to come. Men will die here so that others may live to fight another day. One more D-Day. One day closer to Tokyo. Yes, men will die here. Our men. The Avengers attack with all bomb bays open. The 40 millimeters let loose, the tracers pointing the accurate marksmanship. It's almost H-hour. Now is the time for rest before looking the Jap in the eye. But not all the team is resting. Before the landing, a smoke screen must be laid. Phosphorus shells are shot onto the beaches. Smoke is thick enough to cover a landing. The small craft, loaded with fighting men, rendezvous. The big guns, cooperating, fire a continuous barrage.
Launch the first wave. Launch the first wave. USA, day 957. The St. Louis Browns are leading the American League by 3 games. In Chicago this summer morning, the thermometer hit 52 degrees, the strangest behavior of mercury in the Windy City since 1895.
They're all here. The swimming tanks, the landing craft, the LSTs. including the American men.
New York, New York, day 957. Number one tune on the hit parade this week is I'll Be Seeing You.
A beachhead is established. The men move inland. There is always the enemy. This is what the ships did to the enemy so that the men on the beaches could live.
USA, day 957. Reacting to good war news, the stock market went off 1 to 3 points. In Cleveland, Ohio, John M. Scanlon, age 76, received a medal for not missing a work day since December 8, 41, 956 days ago.
The softening up from the bombardment was accurate and devastating. Objectives were achieved, including these objectives. It always comes down to man against man.
Washington, D.C., day 957. The Selective Service announced today that the national quota for this month is 100,000 men.
The team moves inland now toward the high mountains. The fate of the enemy is sealed. Men must die to capture an island. There are many islands along the way.
USA, day 957. A horse named Singing Lass paid $68 for two in the first of Jamaica. Triplets were born to Mr. and Mrs. Luke Young of Oklahoma City. And on this day, thousands of miles away, the men who fought at dawn and some who fell at noon thought of home. Objective secured. Objective secured.
This was the 957th day of our war. Tomorrow will be the 958th.
Well, that just abruptly ends. Yeah, so, yes, they do not shy away from footage of war casualties. The idea, of course, is this is trying to get people who watch it, and these would be shown in theaters, civic groups, etc. The idea is to get people to contribute and buy war bonds. But there was a little bit about that, about the home front effort as far as fulfilling, like factories working overtime so they can provide resources for the war effort as well. And we certainly have shown films about that, where, like, don't slack off, like, go work, this is needed. or pay attention to what you're doing, because if you're not paying attention, then those bombs that you're making might not go off, or that metal that you're making, those rivets might sever and planes will explode, etc. So all these again today is all World War II oriented. This one's called Freedom Comes High, and this one's interesting because it's basically saying, like, the war is over, it's over, but is it?
Rhoda. Sorry to be so late.
Land sakes, Miss Landing. You are late.
How's the baby?
Not a sound. Run off to sleep like a lamb. You look as if you could do with a little sleep yourself.
Yes, we had an extra shipment at the plant today. That always means double work.
I don't know how you do it. Well, you eat everything I put out for you and you'll feel better.
Thanks, Rhoda, I shall.
And there's something on the mantel that'll make you feel better, too.
I was thinking the other day of the time I asked you to marry me. Do you remember how your father was looking for his pipe while you played his favorite tune?
Hanged around nowhere it is.
Probably in your den in the pipe rack where it belongs.
That's probably why I couldn't find it.
Oh, please don't stop. I'm going to ask you something. If the answer is yes, just keep on playing. If the answer is no, stop.
Yes, Stephen?
I've been thinking, maybe you've noticed. Well, in any case, it occurred to me that... Ellen, will you marry me? Such a contrast to the way we're living down here. No time for anything but work.
How much longer to get this step aboard, Alan?
About a half hour, sir.
Very well. As soon as you're squared away, give him a breather.
Aye, sir. Are you expecting something special?
Why don't you ask the captain? Here he is.
Want something, Alan?
Oh, no, sir.
All the ammunition aboard?
The last load is coming aboard now, sir. Good.
Oh, how's the fever, Steve?
Going down a bit, I think.
You think?
I'm all right, sir.
You think you're able to make this run? It may be tough.
I've been counting on it, sir.
Tell Jenkins I want to see him.
Aye, aye, sir.
I guess you'll make it all right.
This means tonight's the night. I'd like to have a few minutes, sir, before I dispatch a mail order.
Sure, Steve. Go ahead.
Darling, things are happening I wish I could talk about. Tonight, I have the same feelings I had the night I decided to go.
But, Steve, this is a young man's war.
Well, I've always considered myself a well-preserved old man.
Oh, stop joking. How about your job? Isn't that important?
Yeah, sure, it's important. But there are plenty of other fellows who can do it.
I guess you're right, Steve. It's just that I want you here so much.
I know how you feel, honey, because I feel the same way. But with my training, the Navy needs me. You may not hear from me for some time, but you'll be in my thoughts wherever I am.
Looks like your range is opening up a little, Hall.
Aye, sir.
Where are we now, Steve?
Right here, sir.
We should be there in about 35 minutes.
Yes, sir.
All hands. All hands. This is the captain speaking. We are now in enemy waters, looking for the Kobe Express. There may be some large ships in it. We hope to find them. When we do, I know you'll do all that's expected of you. Surface contact bearing 285, true, range 10-000.
Aye, aye. Captain, surface contact bearing 285, range 10-000.
Chief, that's the Express. Commence tracking. All ships, this is 3-3. Enemy contacted bearing 285, range 10-000.
All ships from Division Commander, I'm changing course to 265. Prepare to fire torpedoes.
That puts us into 65-50.
Captain, that course puts us well within effective range. Left standard rudder, come to course 265.
Come to course 265.
Prepare to fire torpedoes to starboard. Half salvo, broadside fire.
Prepare to fire torpedoes to starboard. Half salvo, broadside fire.
Fire torpedoes when ready.
Fire torpedoes when ready.
Fire 1. Fire 2.
Stand by to fire main battery. Our target is the third ship.
All torpedoes fired.
Left-handed rudder. Left-handed rudder. I'm going to steady down so you can start firing. Steady she goes.
Reports at least 2 large ships on starboard bow. Ship bearing 040.
That was a big one. Too damn big. Take over, Jacobs. Yes.
Get it, bed, sir.
It's all yours, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Get the captain to the doctor. Call the repair party.
Captain's been ahead. Get a couple of men.
Engine room. Is everything all right? Good. Have you got control?
I think so.
Steady she goes.
Steady she goes.
Owen, are you all right?
Yes, sir. Patrol, this is Blanding. Commence firing on searchlight. Jacobs, give me a hand on the bridge. Tell torpedo officer to stand by the bound cruiser. What are we going to do? Get out of here? Nothing doing. We're going in. We don't get a chance like this very often. But that's suicide. Torpedo officer, target is cruiser on starboard bow. Fire when ready. Torpedoes fired, sir. Left full rudder. Left full rudder, sir. Tell engine room to give us all I got. Engine room, give us all you've got. That ought to do it all right. They'll have to do some fancy dodging to miss those fish. We'll be out of range in a few minutes now.
Horace's lodge night.
Of course, Rhoda. I hope I didn't keep you waiting.
Oh, no. The baby's fine, your dinner's in the oven, and there's something on the mantel. Good night.
I'm sure you'll understand that whatever I do for you and the baby is more important right now than anything else in the world. The value of these things can't be measured in ordinary ways, but must be paid for in dollars and cents, and sometimes in lives. Freedom comes high. No matter what happens, I shall always be with you.
Oh, good evening, Mrs. Blanding. It's a telegram. It's from the Navy Department.
Yes, I know.
Are you sure you'll be all right?
Yes, I'll be all right. Yes, Stephen, my darling. We'll be all right.
There's supposed to be an ad at the end of that. That's my copy that got cut off. But basically, it's like buy war bonds. So this, like I said, this was shown in theaters. You would go see a film, like maybe two films, a picture and a B picture. You'd see some cartoons, some newsreels. Then you'd get this short that you would watch, and you know, they draw you in with the drama, man. You find out about the about how he's getting married, and then he's going, and the whole war thing. It gets everybody just riled up and sucked into the drama, and then you realize the sacrifice that's being made, and then there's the message of, like, you know, this person gave their life, they sacrificed their life and their happiness with a family. With what sacrifice can you give? So it's really fascinating. This next film is also a military film, and this is meant for soldiers who did not die in battle, but those who saw the costs of fighting fascist governments in World War II, and then the importance of taking back and realizing that the places that they were at were places where fascism took over, and to be aware of fascist things that could happen in the United States, and to what to do to make sure that what happened in Europe or in Japan or other countries, that will not happen here. This is called It's Your America.
Yes, sir. I'm going home. I guess you think I'm pretty lucky getting back so soon. Well, I think so too, but I'm not going to apologize. I had a low number coming in. I've been thinking about a lot of things tonight. I was thinking about how much a guy can learn in 4 years. I'm not the same guy that left home 4 years ago. I feel like a bigger guy. I feel that I'm coming back to a bigger kind of home. And that's a pretty good feeling. It's funny. Guy kind of mopes his way through life. He thinks he's living and he's really sleeping. And then all of a sudden, something happens to him. Like going into the army and fighting a war, maybe. And he wakes up. He begins to see things. He begins to hear things. I never used to shoot my mouth off. That's what this damn penny's done for me. Was 4 years ago, next month I found it. They used to call me Mister in those days. I guess I was the average kind of a slap-happy guy. You know, the kind that's got everything and doesn't know what he's got. Yeah. I was the all-American jerk. He doesn't even know what he got up for. Now he knows. See how happy he is? Why should he be happy? His country wants him to fight. Fight for big words like democracy, freedom, liberty. Hell, he doesn't even know what they mean. He's got a job, he's got a girl, he's got a mother, he's got friends. What are they dragging him off at 6 o'clock in the morning for? This is the kind of a morning and the kind of a day that makes a man feel lonely. Sure, there's a war going on somewhere. Millions of people are being killed or starved or tortured. That's tough, but that's far away. Europe, Asia, China. Those people don't really mean anything to him. That's how we began, that Penny and me. I figured if I hadn't gone back to pick it up, that truck would have hit me. We must all be from the same part of town, same draft board. But outside of Mike Simmons over there, the rest of the guys are strangers. Guys from my own neighborhood. But I don't really know any of them. Heads. 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 Tails. That's me, third from the left. You know, a thing like this makes you stop thinking you're so different from everybody else. "1918. Hey, that's the year I was born. Maybe that's good luck. Let's see what else is on a penny. Lincoln. A man with a beard. Reminds me of that statue we saw on the trip to Washington when we were kids in school. It was a whopper of a statue. Miss Anderson said Lincoln was the savior of our country, but he was just a hell of a big statue to me. Liberty. Well, that's another statue. E pluribus unum. Oh, yeah, that's Latin. Dead language. United States of America.
Oregon is bounded on the south by California, on the north by Washington, on the east by Idaho.
That's right. United States was a map. Different colors for the states and crooked lines for the rivers. That was the United States of America. Wonder what those things are on the side. Looks like a couple of leaves or feathers, maybe.
Get moving, bud. You're in the Army.
I was in the Army, all right, and I didn't like it. To me, it was just drill and march and KP and more drill. They tried to tell us what we were fighting for, but that was just words to me. And then we marched some more.
Coming in! Ho! All right, men. All out on either side of the road. Watch the smoking. All out.
Oh, my feet. They're killing me.
Yeah, mine too.
Why do they have to march us all over the state? I know how to walk.
I suppose if we're gonna do some fighting, we might as well get in shape for it.
I wonder when we'll get to the top of this mountain.
This isn't a mountain, it's a hill.
Yeah, what makes you think so?
I've seen a mountain. Yeah, this is one hell of a country, isn't it?
Huh?
You know, the other day a guy asked me what I was fighting for, and I wanted to laugh right in his face. What's that, a lucky penny?
Yeah, it's just a regular penny. It's got the year I was born on it.
Yeah, 1918. Yeah, it's got a lot of other things on it, too. Hell, it's got everything on it. It's got America on it.
Say, when this guy asked you what you were fighting for, the one you laughed at, what did you tell him? What do you say to a guy like that?
Just tell him to take a good look at this penny.
You mean those words on it?
No, not just the words. Tell them to find out what they mean, what they really mean, so they're not just words anymore.
You know, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Quiet!
When you understand what's on that penny, you'll know America. When you know America, you'll know what you're fighting for.
I was pretty sure that dog-face was crazy. But some of the things he said kept bothering me. He sure loved this country, but how can a guy love America, except in a song or a speech? You can't fall in love with a map. Then our outfit started to move around that map. We really saw America. And I got to know fellas from all over the country, from the north, south, east, and west. We trained together, ate together, griped together, drank together. Oregon became Joe Higgins. And Washington, which bounded it on the north, became Sam Collins. And Illinois was George Franklin. And Alabama was Henry Baxter. And then America wasn't a map anymore. It was a real country, made up of real people and real people's homes. I remember the night the convoy pulled away from this country on the way over. I suddenly realized I was leaving my country, and I was lonesome for it. Maybe that's what that dog face was talking about. And maybe he wasn't so crazy.
Now, if you don't like that stout, I can get you some beer.
No, no thanks. How much is it?
That'll be sixpence.
This is my first day in London. I'm not sure about the money yet.
Oh. Well, this is sixpence. This is an American penny, isn't it?
Yeah, I carried it around with me as a lucky piece.
Yeah, I never seen one of these before. It's a good picture of Mr. Lincoln.
Yeah, I guess so.
You Americans are great believers in luck, aren't you? Well, we English are too, for that matter. I was talking to my son the other night. He's out of the war now. He lost the sight of his eyes in Africa. And he was saying how lucky we are to have Mr. Churchill. When he speaks, now this is what my boy says. It's Shakespeare speaking, and Milton, and Nelson, and Disraeli, and all the great poets and statesmen and soldiers in English history. And so if Mr. Churchill seems a little grand and eloquent and proud, it's because we've got a grand and proud history. My son's a great talker. Now, will you have a glass of beer with me?
Sure, thanks. Come to think of it, we've got a pretty good history ourselves. Guys like Washington, Lincoln, Jefferson. Lots of people. Mark Twain, Will Rogers. I can't think of them all right now, but we've had some pretty fine men, too.
Yes, you've had some of the finest.
Here I've been carrying a picture of Lincoln around with me in my pocket, and I forgot that my own grandfather saw him. That he was a real live man, like your Mr. Churchill. A house divided, Grandpa used to say when Sis and I'd get in a fight.
A house divided against itself cannot stand.
Yeah, how did you know that?
Why, a man like Abe Lincoln belongs to the whole world.
That's what Grandpa used to say. Only he thought that Lincoln belonged especially to him. Like he was a relative or an ancestor or something.
Father Abraham.
I guess it's the same way you feel about Mr. Churchill and Mr. Shakespeare and the rest. Like they belong to you.
Yes, and they do belong to me, too. They're as much a part of England as this pub.
funny, isn't it? How a war starts a guy thinking.
A man never knows what's his, what really belongs to him, until someone tries to take it away from him.
This was his pub. This was their church. Their library. Their city. Their country.
But we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain. Mr. Lincoln said that. How does the rest of it go?
I used to know. I guess I'd forgotten.
Great words. Great words.
It took me a long time to remember the rest of that speech. It was over a year before we got to Italy. This was one of his cities. All of a sudden, for no reason, my mind went back to Lincoln. Some jump, Mussolini to Lincoln. And then I remembered the rest of what he said. That this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom. And that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Of the people, by the people, for the people. From the people, without the people, against the people. That guy Lincoln grows on you. On the beach at Anzio, I forgot to duck, and I got hit in the arm with a hunk of shrapnel.
Hurt, soldier?
No, sir. I didn't know a surgeon could be left-handed.
Did you ever see a pitcher named Lefty Grove?
Yes, sir. I saw him walk 3 men in a row one time.
Well, I'll try and do better than that.
Say, Major.
Yes?
What does e pluribus unum mean?
E pluribus unum? That's Latin.
Yeah, but what does it mean?
Well, it means out of many, one.
One what?
Well, one nation, one people.
Out of many people?
Well, sure. Our country's made up of many kinds of people, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
People from many different countries, different religions, different colored skins. Even left-handed people. E pluribus unum. I haven't thought of that in years. Out of many, one. That's where we get our strength. There's a scientific reason for it, too. Like these instruments here. They're not pure steel, they're an alloy. A mixture of different metals. That's why they're strong and sharp. It's the same with America. All these people have helped make the country freer and stronger. And America has made each of them freer and stronger. That's it, all right. That's the American idea. We give our best, each of us. We get back the best that everybody has to offer. That's freedom and democracy. That's what e pluribus unum means.
E pluribus unum. Not a bad idea. I got sent back to the rear for a couple of weeks' rest. We stopped at a Heine prison camp one day, and I picked up a Frenchman. His outfit was on our left at Casino.
They look much different than the day they marched into Paris. Then they were arrogant, unconquerable.
These guys don't look like supermen to me. Were you in Paris when they came?
Yes, I was there. They put me in a concentration camp. We tried to get out, 6 of us. 2 of us made it.
Where'd you go?
I joined the underground.
Gee, that must have been pretty rugged. You know, I mean, hard. What'd you do in the underground?
Oh, bridges, factories, things like that. Once a German troop train.
You guys really got around.
But I like better to fight like this in the open with the French army, with other men. A man does not feel so lonely. He feels more free.
Free in the army?
You have never been in a concentration camp. There you eat the Nazis' bread and do his work in safety. And that is slavery. But to fight and go hungry and destroy the Nazi, that is freedom, liberty.
When we were kids, we never thought much about freedom and liberty. Maybe it's because we had so much of it.
They killed my wife.
You'll get even with them. We'll be in Rome in a couple of weeks.
No, for that I can never get even.
Well, what are you gonna do after this is over?
After the war? I don't know.
What would you like to do?
Well, first I will visit the grave of my wife.
Sure.
And then I think I would like to vote again.
Vote?
Well, that is the test, is it not? That is how I will know.
Know what?
That I am free. I have fought for a long time. And I want to know for sure that I will have the freedom I have been fighting for. And when a man can vote, when men can vote together and decide how they shall live together, why then they are free.
I could have voted the last time, and I didn't do it.
Oh, that is too bad. Many men have died for what you throw away. When free men vote together, there is nothing they cannot do. I remember before the war, I used to go to a little cafe in Paris. It was called Café de Doumago. Someday I shall sit there again with my friends, and we will talk about France and what is good for France. Oh, we will not always agree, of course, and we will argue, but that is good. And if I get a little drunk and talk too loud and pound on the table, I will not be arrested for it. Because no matter what I say, I will be talking about my country. And my country will be free. Yes, I want to vote again.
Hey. Hey. I picked this up in the last town. You want a piece?
Yeah.
It's Italian bread, but it's not bad. Hey, what are you looking at? There's nothing out in that field.
Not anymore. This yours?
If that's a 1918 penny, it's mine. It's got a couple of feathers worn out in the back.
You don't have to identify it. Besides, those aren't feathers. They're 2 heads of wheat.
Wheat? How do you know?
I'm a farmer.
Huh. Wonder what they put wheat on a penny for.
Oh, maybe because wheat is bread. Bread's what people eat. People all over the world. This used to be a wheat field. Might have been pretty good, too, if they'd rotated the crops once in a while.
And I thought these things were a couple of feathers.
Wheat on a penny? Hell, that's what I'm fighting for.
For wheat?
Yeah, in a way. People all over the world raise wheat. We're fighting for them. They're fighting for us. You know, I never used to think much about those other people. English, French, Russian, and Chinese. They weren't ordinary folks like us. They were different, kind of. And then I read. I saw pictures how the Russian and Chinese scorched the earth. Why, they even killed their livestock so the Nazis and Japs couldn't use them. Well, I'm a farmer. All of my family is farmers. I thought about them killing their livestock and burning their crops. Takes something pretty bad to make a farmer do that. When a farmer fights for something bigger than his crops, brother, he's fighting for something big. I figured it must be their freedom they're fighting for. They're on our team, so they're fighting for our freedom, too. Maybe they burned their wheat so we wouldn't have to burn ours. Couple of feathers, huh? Come on out and visit us sometime in Nebraska. Make it in the fall when the wheat's ripe. We got 1,000 acres out there and it looks like pure gold. Only it's better than gold. It's bread.
That was Hank Barlow. And he died 2 days later. A German sniper got him in a wheat field. It was 3 weeks later that our guys took Rome, but I wasn't with them. I was pulled out and sent back to England. Everybody said that this was going to be the big push, the invasion. It sure looked like it. It felt like it, too. And when the time came, they didn't even have to tell us. There's some stuff you don't get unless you're going places. You don't get French money either. It makes you feel like you really want to pray. In God we trust. In God all of us trusted. An Episcopalian from Oregon. A Jewish boy from Iowa. A Catholic from New Jersey. A white man from Chicago. And a Negro from South Carolina. This was one army out of one nation. Out of 48 states. Out of many peoples and many colors and many religions. This was E pluribus unum, all right. We trusted in God, and we trusted in each other. We trusted in each other because we needed each other. And when you looked around and saw the other guys, you knew that nobody could lick us. We were strong because we were free and equal, and we were together. That's what democracy means. That's what was on the penny. That's what we were fighting for. This was the Army of Liberation. And what an army. that guy was right. When you know America, you know what you're fighting for.
Okay, men. Over the side.
Now I'm going home. It'll be swell to see my girl, my mother, my house. But that's not all I'm going back to. It took me a long time to discover America. Longer than it took Columbus, I guess, and I had to make a long trip too. I found out that it belongs to me. It belongs to me and you and all the rest of the people back home. We licked the Nazis together, and we're going to lick the future together. That's the thing you learn in the Army, that a bunch of guys can do anything if they work together. That's the way democracy works, and that's why democracy works. I know what that Frenchman was talking about now. I want to vote too. I want to go back and help run our country, and that's a big job. It's a job that'll take 130 million of us all working hard. You see, I want to make damn sure that we don't lose the things that I've been fighting for and learning about. Because we've really got something, brother. I found that out. And I want to hang on to it. Together, we killed the Nazi idea. Well, together we're going to keep on building the American idea. We're going to make sure we've got a place where free kids can grow up into free men, where every man is free and strong and equal, and where everything is run according to Lincoln. That this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. That was Lincoln's America, and it's my America, and it's your America. How about it, soldier? A penny for your thoughts.
Wow, that laid it on really thick, wonderfully thick. But you know, it's kind of every once in a while you have to kind of watch something kind of cornball and super patriotic. And in fact, I was when I first encountered this film. This was, I don't know, 15 years ago. I was like, wow, this is over the top. But yeah, it's a great message. You know, it's trying to educate those who fought in the battles to contribute to democracy back in the United States. And I was like, thankfully, we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, we do. We got to worry about it. We got to fight it. We have to honor the people that sacrificed fighting fascism by fighting fascism. I think about my grandfathers, both of them, who both served in World War II, and they did not like to talk about their war experience because it was very traumatizing and it was rough. And I think about what is going on now and how utterly disappointed and heartbroken they would be. So let's fight. Let's fight. Let's not be divided. Let's come together. And that is the end of my soapboxing for today. We'll go back to inane films about grammar and about driver's education and commercials about soap, etc. But just know that I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you letting me occasionally get a little propagandistic and patriotic, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day, and I hope that we can all come together as a nation and celebrate all of our lives and diversities together, because that's what makes America great, the delicious melting pot of America. So thanks everybody. Hit the thumbs up, hit the like. I like you and I give you a thumbs up. And unfortunately, for the next 3 days, I'm going to be in Charlotte because I have a family member who is in the hospital and undergoing surgery. It should be okay, but I just want to be there nonetheless. So I will be pre-recorded for the next 3 days. And so I will be, I'm sure, checking in and stuff. But yes, I will be pre-recorded. But I should be back on Friday. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and I will see you. But take care. We'll see you soon.